Ladies and gentlemen, in the ever-evolving theater of professional football, where passion meets policy and strategy clashes with safety, a monumental decision was made, one that resonated deeply with fans, players, and the very essence of the game. This week, a rule proposal that sought to ban one of the NFL's most debated plays, the Tush Push, was met not with approval, but resistance. In a surprising turn of events, the motion failed to gain the necessary traction among team owners. What seemed like an inevitable rule change became a moment of defiance against altering the DNA of a play that has captured the imagination of the league. The Green Bay Packers led the charge, spearheading the movement to outlaw the Tush Push, a play made infamous by the Philadelphia Eagles, who turned it into an unstoppable force on the field. But when the moment of truth arrived, the vote fell short. The final count, 22 teams in favor of the ban, 10 teams stood in opposition, and in the NFL, a rule change requires nothing short of a 24-team consensus. The proposal, just 2 votes shy of becoming law, crumbled at the finish line. And while many may have thought the Tush Push was on its deathbed, it lives to see another season. It lives, not simply because of the numbers, but perhaps more so because of the voice, one voice in particular, that echoed louder than the rest. That of Jason Kelce. In a surprising and strategic move, Kelce, the recently retired Eagles center and a foundational piece of the team's tush-push dominance, took it upon himself to educate and inform. Arriving ahead of the vote, he stood before NFL decision-makers and answered their questions, debunking myths, and offering insight into a play many only understood through headlines and slow-motion replays. On his New Heights podcast, Kelce revealed that some voices in the room had accused the tush push of contributing to injuries, and even floated the idea that it was a factor in his own retirement. But Kelce pushed back, not with emotion, but with facts, with presence, with truth, and perhaps it was that truth that changed minds in that room. Because football is not just a game of statistics or schematics. It's about culture, it's about heritage, and it's about the right to fight for every inch, in any way allowed by the rules of competition. The Tush Push, a play that has divided fans, coaches, and analysts, is, at its core, a manifestation of will. Of unity, a formation that leans on trust, timing, and sheer power. Some call it ugly, others call it unfair, but for teams like the Eagles, it's called effective. The NFL, for all its history of adjustments and reforms, chose on this day not to overcorrect. Not to strip a team of a legitimate tactic simply because others couldn't stop it. Let's be clear, this wasn't a landslide of support. This was a narrow escape. The play has survived, but it walks a fine line. It's evident now that the topic will rise again, especially if the Tush Push continues to dominate headlines and defenses throughout the 2025 season. The push for a ban is not dead, just delayed. But for now, it remains. And for one more season, at least, it will thunder forward, from goal line to goal line. Let's not underestimate what this vote means. It shows that influence matters. That players, especially those as respected as Jason Kelce, can sway hearts and minds. That the spirit of the game isn't only shaped on Sundays, but also in meeting rooms and behind closed doors. It reminds us that no play, no matter how controversial, should be banned without deep reflection. Without proof, without fair debate. The Tush Push doesn't break rules, it bends expectations. It challenges defenders to dig deeper, to find an answer, to innovate. Football has always been a game of adjustments. The best teams rise to the challenge. They don't call for a ban, they scheme for a solution. So here we are. One of the league's most polarizing tactics remains intact. The Eagles, and any team bold enough to mimic them, retain the right to line up, shoulder to shoulder, and make that surge. And fans, whether cheering it or cursing it, will get to witness it again. This decision reaffirms something powerful. In the NFL, greatness must be earned, not legislated. Dominance must be challenged, not outlawed. To those who opposed the Tush Push, your voices were heard. Your concerns noted. The vote was close, but to those who champion the grit of the trenches, the unity of the line, and the power of collective effort, the game still belongs to you, too. The Tush Push is more than just a play. It's a message, a stance, a declaration that sometimes, in football as in life, progress is made by the strength of those behind you. For now, the debate cools. But it is not gone. So let us enjoy the play while it lasts. Let us watch as defenses recalibrate, as offenses reimagine, and as strategists dive back into the film room, determined to find the key. Let us witness competition in its purest form. Let us honor the game for what it is, unpredictable, unrelenting, and unafraid. The booth has spoken. The play lives on. And come this fall, the Tush Push will once again shake the turf beneath it.